welcome to another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. Today, guys, we're bringing you live action. Well, it's not live action. It's on Twitch.tv, so that's why I called it live action. But these are replays that were recorded and played for WC 2014. This is a best of 3 match between two amazing players, and tonight on Twitch.tv/SirPirby, not SirPirby. God. I mess up intros all the time, and now that I'm doing them live, I can't really go back and redo them. That's okay, though. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're going to be doing the first 2 games. I don't know if there's a third. If there is, we'll do that tomorrow. So that's how that's going to go. Because like I said, best of 3, and I'm kind of excited for these matchups. Anyways, let's introduce our players. They're kind of already exposed, but that's okay. On the right side of Echo Isles, we have the amazing Fly100%. He's spawning in as the purple orc. And I have no idea what he wants to do in this game. I have no idea what he's going to do in this game. I've heard these replays are absolutely nuts in terms of strategy, so I'm not even going to guess. On the left side, we have Yumiko spawning in as the red human. What does he want to do? What is he going to do? No one really knows, except him. Maybe he doesn't even know. And that is what, well, that's probably entirely wrong. I'm sure they know exactly what they're going to do. But we're seeing him go without a barracks so far. Is he going to put it a lumber mill? He's going for a very odd strategy. I guess he's going for some militia creeping, which is a pretty good idea to go ahead and do. We're going to see Fly100% either he's going for the Blade Master. So this looks like it's been a power crept out Archmage. Is he going for a fast expansion? No, there's no way. But I guess he's going to creep it out, but there's no way he can afford to take this as an expansion this early on in the game. So we'll see what happens. If that Blade Master knows about this, he's going to come right down here and get a whole bunch of free kills on the peasants. But I think what we're going to see is that Blade Master creep up just a little bit. And yes, he is. No, yeah, he is. He will indeed. This is actually, I don't know if this probably is not something you should normally do. But if you know that your opponent's most likely going to creep, this is not a bad idea, I don't guess. He's going for the expansion. What? He doesn't have anything. He has absolutely no units, and he's going for the expansion. And just going to do it with towers, I guess. I mean, I guess if he knows Fly likes to do a lot of power creeping, then why not? I love what he's done here with the peasants. This is so cool. If Fly comes down here, which it looks like he might just be doing, those peasants are pretty well protected. You can't really get to them. You can't really harass them. And he's cutting out the trees here to give them a little bit more space. And they can go ahead and start repairing those towers if they need to. Meanwhile, the Archmage can kind of run around and kite with himself and water elementals. He's level 1. I mean, this has got to be some crazy stuff. I don't even know. Good choice by Fly to go for the target that's going to be the hardest for those peasants to repair. Without, they'll have to get out of their little cubby. A little bit of poor micro by Yumiko there. He wasn't really paying attention. He was probably doing something off at his main base, and he lost a peasant for that, but that's okay. Good little bit of play from Fly as well, though, just to go ahead and get that. Seeing him focus down the grunt right here, he's going to surround it with some militia. He's going to try to get it out with breaking this round with the Blade Master. That's going to work, but unfortunately, that grunt is still going to go down. It just was a little too little and a little too late, as they say. 2 guard towers up, the Arcane Tower up as well at this point. It looks like this is going to be the most ridiculous expansion attempt I've ever seen succeed. Up here, still no barracks. He just doesn't even care. He's like, I don't need them. I don't need that. I'm going to spend all my gold on towers. I'm going to spend it on an expansion. Fly doing a good job here blocking the town hall because he can't build it while the Blade Master is standing there invisible. Going to chase off the grunt. Not really going to do a whole lot, but again, he's just buying some time here. It's going to be curious to see if he's going to break on a peasant. Try to do some damage. Nope. He's going to walk away. Yep. And he is going to go straight for that town hall. Doesn't even care about the bonus damage or anything. Bringing the grunt down here as well. That is going to be his goal, it looks like, just to go ahead and try to delay the crap out of this ridiculous expansion attempt. Punish Yumiko as much as he can. He lost a grunt early on, which is going to make this even harder. And because there's already towers up, I mean, that's pretty much the extent of what he can do. He has to back out. He has to go heal. He does have the Voodoo Lounge in the middle of the map up above the tavern, which is a good thing. He is teching. He's almost here too. He's got additional grunts coming. Boots of Speed now has been bought from the shop onto the Archmage. And up here, we're going to see it looks like not much of anything. So if he decides to attack up there, he's just going to have to contend with the Militia and the Archmage. But if he does go up there, we'll probably see towers go up pretty much immediately. But again, this is probably still the juicy target because there's still no real defense here except these towers. There's not really any blocking units or blocking buildings or anything, so still fairly easy to harass that. And Yumiko's just going for a creep right now. This is a pretty big deal with the militia creep right here. It's going to allow him to buy mercenaries, which is going to be able to substitute for his army. He's going to go ahead and start picking those units up right now, and that's really important because he doesn't have any units being produced right now whatsoever. He's going to lose that Forest Troll Shadow Priest, which is pretty not good for him, to be completely honest. A Speed Scroll is going to come out. He's going to try to pick off a lot of these peasants here. With a bit of micro, he should be able to take out several of them. Looks like one already down. He's using some really nice blocking and surrounding tactics here to go ahead and take on another one. Pick off at least one more, and level 2 as well, being picked up by the Blade Master. And again, because there's no towers here, he's not really in any punishing, or there's no punishment for him running up this close to the base. Gonna go ahead and start trying to kill this guard tower because he can. I mean, I would consider this to be maybe a bad idea to have the guard tower right there, because he could have had it one space to the left, I think, and it probably wouldn't. Well, maybe he still could have. I don't know. Could have had it too. I don't know. I'm not going to criticize Yumiko. I have no idea. This is probably fine. And as you can see, he's wasting time. So maybe this is even planned. If the Blade Master goes for this, there's not enough space for a grunt to kind of get in there. So that's pretty reasonable. The farm, of course, also taking some damage, but the farm not super important. He's at 36 or 20 out of 36 supply right now for Yumiko. So it's if he loses it, it's not a huge deal. He doesn't want to lose it, but he can just make another one. Gonna see a surround on the Archmage with just 2 boots. There's no way for him to get out of this surround. Gonna see the surround almost getting broken by getting that grunt out, but the Blade Master comes right in, says I don't even care. And those militia are gonna be forced to run away. So one of the downsides of just not having an army is that grunts can do a lot to you early on, and there's not much you can do to stop them except towers and playing really defensively. And Yumiko is showing that he doesn't want to play defensively. In fact, he still only has 3 towers down here, not even any farms or anything, not a shop, not a thing. He just doesn't care. Shadowhunter comes out. He's going to probably go ahead and try to do some creeping, it looks like, with this guy, but I don't see any units. Here come the grunts. Okay, so I'm not sure where the units that he wants to creep with are, but we're going to see them coming across the map. A War Mill's going up. Also have a Spirit Lodge and Raiders coming out. So we're seeing a somewhat standard style from the Orc here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, he's going to go for an expansion, which is not a bad call because his opponent, again, has nothing to stop it. Going to see the upgrade for the keep coming down on the expansion for Yumiko instead of up here, which is clever because this is less important anyway because it only has 9,000 gold compared to 11,000, so it's less important by 2,000. And also, you can already call militia up here, and you can't do that down here. So that's one of those little things. In a situation like this, it's a good idea to go ahead and do that. Go ahead and put the keep down here, and then of course you can build a lot of defensive structures down here and really fortify this position if he's doing that. Just a good play. Now let's see Troll Witch Doctor come out to place down sentry wards, also known as map hacks, free map hacks. In fact, these guys, you want sentry, you want Troll Witch Doctors in your army anyway. You might not make them, you may not put them in there, but you want them because they're a cool unit. And the wards are awesome. Every ward they have this ward that stuns everything, a ward that sees everything, and a ward that heals all your stuff, not theirs. So that's pretty good. Forest Troll Berserker coming out for Yumiko. Again, the mercenary camp, just what he's going to probably end up trying to use. Will that Witch Doctor be able to snipe the water elemental? That would be cool. Looks like he doesn't care so much for it. I'm surprised, but you know, I guess he wants to go for this round here, which is reasonable. Hex is going to come out. This guy still doesn't have any kind of way to deal with this type of play because all he has is 2 boots. There's going to be another Hex and another Ensnare. He's probably even going to get surrounded right here. Yes, well, not surrounded, but blocked enough that he's going to go down. So good micro by Fly, but again, Yumiko just getting punished really hard for having nothing really except that Archmage out on the field. He needs to do something about that otherwise, because he's already given away map control. And Fly is putting up his own expansion. So it kind of becomes, what was the point of doing this ridiculously fast expansion play? Maybe his goal here was that Yumiko would creep hard and he would kind of get it away for free, and then he could tech up and he wouldn't have to really, he could get this mercenary camp crept out really quickly, and he would have units to kind of deal with the early game harass a little bit. If that was his goal, then Fly kind of sniffed it out. If that wasn't his goal and he knew this was the case, then I have no idea what he's thinking. So I think it's probably the first, but who knows. And a Blood Mage as the second hero. Okay, Blood Mage with Arcane Sanctum, so we're going to see some kind of magic damage play here. I think it looks to me, or maybe we're going to end up seeing some Flame Strike Blizzard with maybe Breakers and Slurks. That would be kind of cool. Maybe a couple Priests for the healings. That'd be all pretty nice, nifty. But Yumiko's going to have a heck of a time because he is going to be so far behind in experience. Can I see level 3 Blade Master, level 2 Shadow Hunter? Just a little bit more time. I mean, we've already seen that this side of the map, Yumiko's side of the map, has already been crept out by Fly. He's making a great response to this strategy. I mean, I don't know. I would say he's thoroughly in the lead. Gonna take this Blade Master, probably just creep out this whole thing. He's got slut for the item, and again, just deny as much XP to Yumiko as you can at this point. Why would you do anything else? I don't know. There's no need to push into this. There are 3 Arcane Sanctums down. We're seeing some casters coming out. Looks like he's getting Magic Sentry. Obviously a really good choice against Orc because they have the invisible Blade Master. This allows you to place down scout towers and kind of use them as a proxy to run around and fight your battles. And so if you end up fighting at the Orc space, you can bring Ivory Towers, and it's really good. It's like a really good dust. It's actually a lot like a Gem of True Sight, except they can't move. But that's okay. Also, those are going to be useful to keep wards out of the base. Fly already predicting that that's probably what there's going to be, and keeping that ward far enough out of the base that it's not going to be affected by that. But if you look, you can see these wards give a ton of vision. It's like a screen of vision. Like, it's absolutely insane how much these things can see. So you put it here, you can see like all of this. You can just look at the mini map. This is from Fly's position, or not the observer. It's just all Fly. Fly can see everything. He can see, oh look, there's sorceresses coming out. Oh look, there's Magic Sentry down. Oh look, you know, he's upgrading down here. You can see everything. So that's pretty cool how important these sentry wards can be and just how big of a deal they are. Yet there's 1 tower, 2 towers, 4 towers on these 2 heroes. Are we going to see a tower push play? Maybe that's what he's going for here. Tower push play could be Banish then if it's not magic damage. You know, Water Elementals and Banish could do a lot of micro and try to kill a lot of these units before the Orc has got a lot of good counters and stuff to it. He's using this, it looks like, to kill the creeps, which is kind of cool. Maybe the trees even. That's even better. I guess it's probably the trees because he's been clearing trees out. So probably the trees, which is a good idea because the trees right here are oftentimes used by the human player to kind of build a choke point like right here, or, you know, build a couple towers or something. But generally you put some towers up against the trees. It's hard to kill them because you can't get good surface area around them, and also they create a really big choke point. And one of the big thing that Orc has to do in any position, in any engagement, they have to ensure that they have good positioning. Their units are big. There's not a lot of them. They are high value units that have a high cost. So if you have very few high value, high cost units, which is basically every Orc unit, you need to have good positioning to make sure that you're maximizing their efficiency, compared to someone like a human army here who doesn't. I mean, they still need good positioning because of the simple fact that you have to deny the positioning to the Orc, but it's not such a big deal because there's a lot of units, so each unit is worth less. So if one unit is in a bad position, it's not as big of an impact as, say, having your Blade Master in the wrong position, which is a huge impact. So you can see positioning's huge, and that's why it's so important to clear the trees right here. And this is another position where you can have a great choke point. So that's what we're going to see through, Yumiko going for here is good choke points. Now with Demolishers out, Demolishers are really good against basically this entire army and this towers, but you can't have too many of them. You constantly see like mortars and stuff and human mirrors, and it's good units. Well, not constantly, but see them. Anyway, we have a fight going on. This is going to be a lot of stuff. A Spirit Link has been stolen by the Breakers, so that's kind of trying to keep the units from having too much tankiness on the Orc. Going to see the Archmage taking an ensnare. He's going to get banished just as that Blade Master tries to go for him. It doesn't really land because of banish. Becoming ethereal is kind of nice. Got a Raider that's slightly out of position here, but he's not going to get punished for that because he was not slowed, and these peasants couldn't do a whole lot to stop that. Going to see the Demolisher immediately trying to clear out these trees a little bit, we saw. Yes, indeed he is. And again, that is to clear the choke point because he can't really position his army in a good spot with those trees up, so he needs to clear them. He's not even hesitating. He was doing that right as soon as Yumiko started retreating. He was like, I gotta clear the trees. The trees are bad. Yeah, so there you go, and now we're just going to see a bit of a standoff. This fight, I mean, Fly has just answered everything Yumiko's done in this game so far wonderfully. But Yumiko is building he's got a blacksmith here, a workshop's going up, a second workshop's going up. This is, I think, to try to counter the siege. Got Blizzard coming out. He's going to have to get an ethereal cast or a banish cast onto the Archmage as he gets ensnared. But this guard tower is taking quite a bit of hits here, and it's trying to get repaired. But if he starts losing those towers before he can start making siege units to combat the demolishers, then he's not going to have a good time at this position. He might have to retreat. And again, he is, in fact, already kind of late. Now, it's kind of cool. You can banish somebody who's casting Blizzard, so that's kind of cool. You can still get Hex to stop the Blizzard, but you can kind of see what he's going for there is to kill the siege without taking damage, without, being interrupted is his goal. And that works pretty well if you can do that without getting hexed, but he's, Fly just says not going to happen. Now, that Blade Master's been taking a lot of hits, but he does have a Potion of Invulnerability as well as a Scroll of Healing, and of course Spirit Link and Healing Wave, so it's going to be really hard to kill that guy. He's going to be very tanky. He does have a Circlet, which increases his tanking by quite a bit as well. There goes the Scroll of Healing right now, and we're going to go ahead and see. This is just Fly saying, I'm going to move out. I can do it. I've killed one of your towers, and your positioning is not too great. You're out in the open now, and you might go ahead and he's going to send those breakers to the back, try to take down the Demolisher, but he doesn't care. He's got a Coda Beast. He eats a breaker. He just eats the whole thing whole. Why not? Got a Flying Machine out. He's going for the mortar teams, but before those guys are going to be kicking in, Fly is already engaged, and the Blood Mage is level 1 still, so he's not going to be that effective. He doesn't have the Siphon mana, which allows him to start making, say, the Shadow Hunter, the Blade Master, much less useful, because if they don't have mana, the Blade Master can deal without having mana, but the Shadow Hunter needs mana. We're seeing that Blade Master, Blood Mage right here, taking a lot of hits. Going to even go ahead and be forced to Banish on the Blade Master, which is kind of what he would like to do as well, because he wants to remove as much damage as possible from this Orc army. But he's lost position here, and if he has to run away any further, he's going to lose all these buildings that he's just invested in. In fact, he's just going to go ahead and say good game. So that's game number 1, and it was a good game, but Yumiko did some really crazy stuff. Fly just answered it so appropriately. Just so appropriately. Fly was like, I see what you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and respond to it immediately. And that's going to be game. And when it was a good game. Yumiko still came pretty close. I think if he just had more time, if he just could have got those mortar teams out, he could have started dealing with the Demolishers. The Fly kind of saw right through the timings, and he just pushed it. So that was game number 1. So we're going to now watch game number 2 after a very fast little break. And we'll see what happens. So if Fly wins next game, then he wins the series. If Yumiko wins next game, that means there's a third game, and we'll watch the third game tomorrow if there is one. So that's how that's going to go. I will be right back. Stay tuned.